Have you ever stood in front of a woman wondering if she's into you, but unsure because she never actually says it? Here's the truth. When a woman wants you badly, she rarely uses words. Her body speaks louder than any confession. And if you know what to look for, her eyes, her touch, her posture, you'll read the truth behind the silence. In this powerful breakdown, we're diving into 5 subtle but clear body language signs that reveal deep desire, signs most men overlook. But as a Stoic man, you don't chase. You observe. You don't beg for attention. You recognize it. From eye contact to subconscious mirroring, these clues are rooted in female psychology, backed by science, and sharpened by timeless Stoic wisdom. If you're tired of mixed signals and emotional confusion, this is your moment. Master the ability to decode her attraction without a single word spoken. This isn't about pick-up tricks. This is about emotional clarity, inner calm, and knowing when she truly wants you. We often think that interest is loud, that when someone desires us, they'll say it directly or make it so obvious we can't miss it. But the truth is, attraction, especially from a woman who respects herself, is subtle, almost invisible to the untrained eye. And that's where most men go wrong. They wait for grand gestures, for obvious confessions, for signs that shout. But the real clues, the ones that matter, the ones that tell you she wants you deeply, they're quiet. They're written in the language of the body, and one of the most telling signals comes from her eyes. A woman's eyes often speak before her mouth does, and for the man who is calm, present, and grounded, he doesn't need to be told. He already sees it. You can always tell when a woman is drawn to you because her eyes will seek yours even when her words don't. Maybe you're in a room full of people and she keeps looking at you from across the room, not in a dramatic way, but softly, almost hesitantly. She'll glance at you when she thinks you're not looking, and when your eyes meet. She may hold it for just a second too long, or she might look away quickly, a little embarrassed she got caught once the apology has been. That's not just random behavior. That's her telling you something in the only way she feels safe to. Her glance isn't asking you to pounce. It's asking if you're even aware, if you're attuned. It's asking if you can see her without her needing to spell it out. The modern world has trained men to chase, to speak fast, to move quickly. But the Stoic man does the opposite. He slows down, he notices, he reads the room, and more importantly, he reads her. Now, it's important to understand something about this gaze. It's not just about frequency, it's about equality. A woman might look at everyone in a conversation, but with you, her eyes soften. They become more open. There's a spark behind them. Or sometimes there's even a bit of nervous energy, a little tension she can't hide. You might see her blinking more or her pupils slightly dilating. It's almost like her eyes are reaching out to you, testing the waters without using a single word. A lot of men miss this because they're distracted. They're busy trying to impress. They're thinking of the next thing to say. But the man who operates from a place of inner stillness doesn't need to perform. He creates space. And in that space, a woman feels seen. That's when she begins to show her real self. Through small looks, subtle shifts in expression, and fleeting moments of vulnerability. Think about this. When a woman feels something for you that she hasn't processed yet, or perhaps can't say out loud, her body still responds. Her instincts will look to be closer, even if just through the eyes. And when you catch that look, when you feel her watching you not with judgment, but with genuine curiosity and warmth, that's her speaking a truth that maybe she doesn't even fully understand yet. Her attraction has bypassed her words and gone straight to her subconscious. But here's the part most men never think about. The true test of maturity isn't just in seeing these signs, it's in how you respond. Do you get excited and jump in too fast? Do you mistake her glance as permission to pursue aggressively? Or do you meet her gaze with calm strength without needing any from her in return? That is the Stoic way. You don't chase what is already coming your way. You don't but the signal like a starving man. You receive it. You let it land. And if it continues, if the signal repeats over time, you move. Not from desperation, but from clarity. A woman is deeply tuned into how you respond to her body language. She may be testing your awareness without even knowing it. If she looks at you and sees that you're present, that you're not shaken or overexcited, that's what creates safety. That's what builds trust. Because now she knows you won't misread her. You won't take advantage of her subtle affection. You'll honor it. And that makes you rare. The truth is, the strongest women often wait for the man who doesn't need proof. The man who doesn't need her to chase or explain. She waits for the man who listens with his eyes and understands the unspoken. She waits for the man who can match her energy, not overwhelm it. So, if you're always looking for obvious signs, you'll miss the depth. You'll miss the quiet affection that could have become something more, because you didn't know how to see it when it first showed up. We've become so obsessed with what people say that we've forgotten what their body is saying. Her gaze is one of the purest expressions of emotion and often the first window into desire. You'll notice it in how she watches you when you speak, in how her eyes linger when everyone else has turned away. You'll notice it in how she glances at you across the room, in how she looks at you when you're not looking at her, and you'll notice it in that tiny smile that she tries to hide when your eyes finally meet. But only if you're present, only if you're still, and only if you're paying attention. Not to get something, but simply to understand. Because when you learn to hear the silent language, when you master the art of seeing without needing to be told, that's when you stop chasing affection and start attracting it. You become the kind of man a woman wants to be around. Not because you talked your way in, but because you saw her before she even said a word. There's something powerful about what the body reveals when the mouth stays silent. You can tell more about a woman's intent not by what she says, but by how her presence shifts when you're around. And one of the strongest, most unfiltered signs of genuine desire lies in her orientation toward you. Her physical alignment, the unconscious angles her body forms when you enter the space. It's something you don't have to chase, force, or even respond to immediately. You simply have to notice. When a woman is drawn to a man, she doesn't always voice it in words. In fact, most of the time she won't. But her posture will betray her. The way she angles her body toward you in a crowded room, how her feet seem to point in your direction, even when she's talking to someone else, or the way her shoulders subtly shift when you enter the room. These aren't accidents. These are the body's quiet expressions of emotional gravity. She's being pulled toward you, even when her conscious mind hasn't fully caught up to it yet. And for the man who lives with presence and stillness, this is not just visible, it's unmistakable. A Stoic man is not interested in decoding women like puzzles. He doesn't play the game of over-analysis. He doesn't need to obsess about whether every glance or movement has a hidden meaning. Instead, he observes reality as it is. He watches people not with suspicion, but with calm discernment. And in this stillness, He catches what others miss. He sees how her energy leans into his space. He notices when her body shifts from being closed off to slightly open, when she suddenly finds herself facing him, even in subtle ways. It might happen when she crosses her legs and they aim toward him. It could be when she leans her hip slightly in his direction when standing. These cues are not about seduction, they are about attraction. A woman whose body turns toward you when there's no obligation to do so is responding to something deeper. But here's where most men fail: they rush in. They see those signs and jump to validate them, to act on them. They take one shift in body language as an invitation to escalate, to move too fast, to test her interest with questions or flirtations that disrupt the natural unfolding of the moment. A Stoic man does not need that. He doesn't chase what is already arriving. He understands the beauty of pacing, of not reacting to every signal with eagerness, but allowing it to mature into something real. Her orientation toward you is not a call to act. It's an indication that your presence has stirred something. That's all. And that is enough. What does it tell you when her feet point toward you even while her words are directed elsewhere? What does it mean when she subtly mirrors your posture or adjusts her seating to face you directly? It means her body has already begun to trust you. It's drawn to your energy even when she hasn't verbally acknowledged it. This kind of subconscious body language is not manipulated. It's instinctive. You didn't need to impress her, to boast, or to play games. You simply had to be grounded, and your calm presence did the work for you. The power lies not in making her turn toward you, but in being the kind of man she naturally wants to align with. That's the discipline. You walk into a room and don't seek attention, yet you find it magnetically drawn to you. You don't demand respect. You command it through stillness and centeredness. And when she feels that, her body language follows. She orients toward what feels safe, solid, and silently strong. That's you. Not because you said the perfect thing, but because you didn't need to. Too many men think attraction is earned through performance, through charm, through cleverness, through constant stimulation. But attraction, true, lasting attraction, comes from who you are when you're not trying, when you simply occupy your space with quiet confidence. That's when her instincts take over. And without thinking, she finds herself drawn in. Her energy leans forward. Her gestures soften. Her body mirrors yours. These are not conscious choices. They're biological cues. And if you're present, you'll catch them. That's why orientation matters. Not just physically, but emotionally. If she begins to open her body toward you, if she instinctively turns her attention in your direction, even when she's not trying to impress you, that's one of the clearest signs of desire. She may not even know she's doing it, but you do. And in that moment, the worst thing you can do is to shift from grounded to needy, from calm to eager, from stable to reactive. Stay where you are. Let her keep turning toward you until she fully arrives in your space, emotionally, mentally, physically. This is the art of restraint, the art of not interrupting what is naturally unfolding. The Stoic man holds himself back not from fear of rejection, but from understanding that timing is sacred. He doesn't need to convert signs of attraction into immediate action. He knows his worth. He knows her turning toward him is not a victory, it's a beginning. A quiet, subtle shift that says, "You've stirred something in me." And he honors that moment not by rushing, but by respecting it. Most men see these signs and think it's time to prove themselves. But a wise man knows, if she's already turning towards you, you've already proven enough. Not through words, not through charm, but through your stillness, through the way you showed up without needing to be seen. And now she sees you, not just with her eyes, but with her body. So if you notice her orientation shifting toward you, take it as a quiet acknowledgement that your energy has spoken on your behalf. And let that be enough.